There was a huge leak last week in the dev team Ask Me Anything, and we almost all missed it. What is up, guys? My name is Ark, and today is a beautiful day to brawl. Now, we've got absolutely tons of stuff to discuss today, but before we get into the really good stuff, let's discuss the most recent patch that came into Brawl Stars just today. Now, I'm recording this video in advance, so some of these things are subject to change. If that happens and they don't make it into the live build, I will edit them out of this video. What I discuss next is only what is now live in Brawl Stars. Night Witch Mortis skin is being increased from 59 gems to 150 gems. That's almost 3 times the cost. Now, it was a special introductory offer, so I think we all saw this one coming. Okay, brawlers being pushed by explosions, springboards, dino jumps, etc. are no longer invisible when flying over bushes. This was something that I wasn't actually aware of. Okay, so Gene, the magic hand for his super starts flying a bit further away from Gene. Previously, the hand will spawn right on top of Gene. This improves the look of the skill and also makes hitting it slightly easier. Not too sure what to make of this, but it'll be interesting to see. The magic hand returns slower now back to Gene. That's going to be an interesting change. Some important changes coming to Siege, which I think will please a lot of the community. Before the first Siege starts, bolts spawn always in the middle axis of the level, so right in the middle. They will spawn more randomly after the first Siege bot is destroyed. Bolts spawn a bit faster before the second Siege starts. The later phases remain unchanged, so again, I think another welcome change. After a Siege bot dies, there is now a 5-second delay before any new bolts start spawning. The intent here is to slow down the game mode just a little bit and reduce the snowball effect after a successful attack. So this is a great change. Currently, once you have a successful attack, it's very easy to spawn trap the opposing team. This should give them a little bit more time to recover from that attack and to get back right into the thick of it. Increased Ike attack range by 0.67 tiles. Now that doesn't sound like much, but believe me, it absolutely is. It now means that Brock cannot shoot at the Ike anymore without taking any damage. That was a really overpowered strategy in my opinion. It'll be very interesting to see whether Penny's turret is still able to connect with the Ike or whether that is now taken out by its increased range as well. Let's wait and see. There are also some changes coming to Big Game, which is very much welcome in my opinion. Big Game for me has been broken for a very long time, and this change will directly affect currently the strongest brawlers being Jessie and Nita. So Supercell are significantly decreasing the amount of health a boss player's pet has. So Jessie's turret, Nita's bear. Jessie was too popular in this game mode due to her high HP turret. This is very, very much welcomed in my opinion. There may of course be some things added to this list. If there are, I will write them in the comments down below and pin it with all those details, but for now, that covers all of the patch notes. Now let's move on to something you've probably seen trending on Reddit or on your Discord. Update leaks. Now, sorry to burst your bubble, guys, but there is nothing genuine about any of the following leaks. I have spoken to Ryan. He has given me permission to announce this to you guys. These leaks are not real. Now, that's not to say that some of these things may not make it into an update. It's possible, but these have been photoshopped. They are nothing more than someone giving us their personal wish list as to what they would like to see coming in the next update. Sorry. Okay, so now on to the really good stuff. You may or may not know, but last week I made a video breaking down the entire dev team Q&A that was held on Reddit. It was shared in the game. Check it out in the newsfeed for anyone that may have missed that video. It's really informative and gives you guys a load of sneak peeks coming soon in a future update. So following that in-game share, I actually went back to Reddit to go through some of the comments. And I'm pretty pleased to say that I did that because what I discovered is pretty big. Probably one of the biggest things that we all actually missed, and it was sitting there all along. I'm referring to this comment right here, sent in by Samir Mishra 27. He says, Did you replace Junpei? Are you the third community manager? Now, many of you probably don't realize, you probably think that Ryan was the only community manager for Brawl Stars. But there wasn't. There was two. Junpei sat very quietly in the background. He's very respectable in SUPERCELL. He works a lot in the Clash of Clans region prior to Brawl Stars and spent a lot of time building bridges with Japan. Now, I've met Junpei. He's the loveliest guy in the world. But again, this was something that I feel was greatly overlooked. The response from Danny was this. Yes, so he did replace Junpei. Junpei is moving on to a different project now. Now, I've got to stress that this is purely speculation on my part. But what I've got to break down for you guys is quite important because the wording here is very specific. A different project. Now, having looked at Junpei's LinkedIn account, he is still employed by SUPERCELL. So if he moved on to a game that was like already in production, already, globally released, we would have probably heard about it by now. It's pretty common that if you move to another game, it gets announced, we know about it. That to me says a lot of information there. A different project is more than likely a brand new SUPERCELL game. I mean, you have to ask yourself, if Junpei was moving to Heyday or Clash of Clans again, then why not just say he's moving back to Clash of Clans or he's moving on to Clash Royale now? He hasn't said that. They obviously don't want to announce the name of the new project, so they're going to be cryptic about this. Now, there's a couple of other things that I'll mention next, which are kind of interesting to me, as I'm sure they will be interesting to you. Now, you guys probably didn't see this unless, of course, you are following the CEO of SUPERCELL on Twitter, Ilkka Parnanen. I will leave a link to that in the description. This was a blog post that he wrote at the beginning of this year, talking through some of the things that SUPERCELL did throughout the course of last year, what went well, what didn't go so well, and what they are looking at towards in terms of the future. I will leave a link to this blog as well so you can read it for yourself. It's fascinating stuff. In this blog, Ilkka says the following. And last but not least, there are of course many new games in the works, all in different stages. Some are quite close to a state where we can imagine trying them in a beta phase. Others are further away, but some are getting close to beta release. As usual, many of them will be killed before anyone outside SUPERCELL will ever see them. But with some luck, you should see a game or two from us in beta this year. And then it's up to you. If enough players like them, we will release them globally. That connects the dots as far as I'm concerned. One big thing to say about Junpei is that he is a community manager. Now, why would you place a community manager on a project that is not currently in a position where it has a community yet? This to me says that whatever project Junpei has moved on to is getting close to receiving some form of a community. Again, I've got to admit I am speculating here. I don't know anything, I haven't been told anything. But you've got to admit, these facts do seem quite overwhelming when you put them all together. Now, a couple of things to know about SUPERCELL is that yes, they are always working on new titles, new games, new projects. They have to be. Many of those projects will never see the light of day, and as we know, SUPERCELL love nothing more than to kill a game. Those projects start very small in the early stages. They may have like just a designer and a coder and maybe one other member of that group. But when they start to expand towards going towards a beta release, of course they are going to need a community manager to liaise with the community. What need would there be to have a community manager for a game that is never going to see the light of day? It just doesn't make sense. I am going to be the one to put it out there. This is absolutely a new title coming in beta this year. It's just got to be. What kind of thing have SUPERCELL not done yet? Well, for me, I would love to see a first-person perspective kind of game. That is absolutely something that Supercell have not touched on yet. I mean, that could be a reason why it won't be done, because it's a bit of a new territory for them, but Supercell are always looking to push boundaries, and in my opinion, mobile gaming is now at a stage where it can absolutely facilitate those kinds of games. We'll just have to wait and see. Most importantly, what do you guys think? Is this all making some form of sense, or am I just blowing things out of proportion? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, head on down to the like button, grab it, smash it, and while you're at it, subscribe for more future content. Guys, we are super close to 10,000 subscribers. It's just absolutely insane. By this time tomorrow, hopefully, we've already hit it. And yes, there is an epic 10,000 subscriber special on the way. But until next time, keep calm, brawl on.